Hello, I'm Jen.
I'm Clara.
I'm the elusive photographer of Online Fabric Store, Kathy.
So, the Academy Awards were last night, and of course, the red carpet is always a big deal for award shows. And we wanted to go over all the different looks between both the men and women of last night and kind of just give our opinions on each. And there's quite a bit to go through, but I believe we're going to start with Nicole Kidman in Armani Privé. I have to say, I'm not a fan. One, I think that, she is pale, and I think it kind of washes her out, using this nude color. And I don't like the big, bold print.
To me, it looks like, what are they? A sari? Sari is the traditional Indian type of dress and covering that women wear. It kind of, and then this is like a very Suzanne type of embellishment.
Actually, I really like this one, and I totally understand what you're saying about the being pale and washing her out, but I sort of appreciated it because I'm very pale, and just this like monotone color that just sort of blends in. You can't really tell what's sheer and what's not.
She's a very tall, slender woman.
Yeah.
So she doesn't need a lot of, when I say weight, I don't mean like a giant train that's dragging off of her, but she really doesn't need a lot to look nice. I don't not like it, but I don't love it.
Right, you're in between. You're just kind of take it or leave it.
Yeah,
right?
It'd be interesting to see it in a different color.
Right.
I've noticed a lot of dresses last night had a lot of high neck, high collar type of things. Like I know in fashion, like choker necklaces are in right now, but I'm wondering, like, are halters making a comeback? And it's nice because it's not like, this is actually on the more modest side of all the dresses that were shown tonight. Like it's covering her up really nicely, but not in a way that's too constricting or overly conservative.
Right. Yeah, and like I said about it, you can't really tell what's sheer and what's not. It could be really sheer, but it could also not be, which is sort of a nice play.
So now we have Ryan Gosling in Gucci.
The bow tie, adorable. And the two-tone lapel, love it. And even just the detail on the top of the pockets.
He was getting a lot of flack for this, the whole, like, ruffly top. But I think it actually works for him, and I'm so glad to see, because menswear is so boring.
Yeah.
I'm glad to see that some men are, like, risking different fashion choices for the red carpet, because they should be able to wear more. And I think that it's subtle, too. It's not too overbearing, where it's still, like, the bow tie stands out.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like it on him. I think he could pull it off because it goes with the whole, like, I feel like it goes with the La La Land theme somewhat. And then we have the Best Actress winner, Emma Stone, in Givenchy.
I loved this.
Yeah, this is one of my favorites. Personally.
I think another thing was that you saw a lot of was the whole like flapper, like a nod to 1920s old Hollywood,
which worked very well, of course, with La La Land.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I think just the entire look. She wasn't wearing a lot of jewelry because she didn't need to, because the dress kind of spoke for itself. The red lip, the hair, like just very classic, timeless. She pulled it off, I think.
Yeah. When I first saw her, I don't know if it was just, the TV or whatever, but I thought because she is pale, I thought maybe it washed her up, washed her out a little bit. But now that I'm, like, seeing it in photos and stuff, it doesn't look as pale, the dress, on her. I think it gives her a little bit of color, but not being too vibrant. It's very subtle, but just enough color. So, Viola Davis in Custom Armani.
Red was another color.
Yeah.
This particular shade of, like, orangey.
Yep, very vibrant.
Red.
I think the color looks great on her. I do like the dress. And I know she's wearing her hair different. I can't remember how she had it at the Golden Globes, but it was different last night. I do like it on her, though. I think it's very elegant. It stands out.
Is something that's in.
And she incorporated a little bit of a neck haltery type of top. It's very simple, but I think it works.
Yeah, I think it like wraps around the back, sort of like a shawl of the arm part, which is interesting.
She has really strong arms. This is kind of a weird thing to say, but she has broad shoulders, and I think that's why this dress works so well for her body.
Definitely.
But yeah, I liked it.
Yeah.
So now we have Mahershala Ali and Ermenegildo Zegna.
Ermenegildo Zegna.
Ermenegildo Zegna.
Ermenegildo.
Easy. He's wearing easy. I think I love the all black.
Yeah, love the all black. Definitely.
It's nice, and his what is the little
Pocket square?
His shoes remind me of like something out of Robin Hood, maybe. But
Jester shoes.
I like everything else.
Yeah, I think he was one of my favorites. I like the sort of different textures of the black, so it's not just like totally blending into one another.
I love a well-fitted suit on a man. Even just like 10, 15 years ago, I just remember like even my dad wearing like baggier suits and sports jackets and whatever. But now it's all about like the tapered look. It's very nice, very tailored.
Yeah, and to your point, Clara, about the textures, I think sometimes people are afraid to wear kind of like a monochromatic look. But if you really think about the sort of textures that are in the outfit, they can totally transform it. Like if he was wearing all of the same type of fabric, it would just he would look like a paper doll cut out. But like the texture of the coat, it looks like it has some sort of like nubby weave to it or something. I don't know. I think it looks great. He was
awesome.
A
winner last night. All right. So next up, we have Janelle Monae and L.A. Saab.
Just no. I mean, even in this photo, she looks.
It was very awkward. How
robotic, like
Marie Antoinette.
Yeah. She had to hold her arms very awkwardly.
It would be nice if it didn't have the poofy sides. Yeah. I think there would be more potential for it. I don't know.
Yeah, I like the middle part of the skirt. It's sort of horizontal stripe thing, but
it just looks so heavy.
Yeah.
Like, like a lot of metal pieces.
Her necklace almost looks like it's part of the dress, but I don't think it is.
I think I heard that it was actually part of the dress, but to me it doesn't quite go. Like I guess there's
a little bit more gold.
Yeah, I guess there's gold in the dress, but the dress comes off as more black and silver, and then the necklace is very gold and black.
Let's just say it's not a dress you want to wear if you want to be comfortable.
Like, how did she even sit in the seats?
Does it
collapse in itself like a cage dress could? I'm interested to see the construction of it. I like her headband too. I think it tied in the rest of the.
Yeah, her hair and makeup look nice.
I'm almost like visualizing. I like the top actually, and her accessories with her hair and stuff.
Yeah, waist up.
If it was like maybe a black velvet, since it was in just like draping the rest of it, like a solid color.
Yeah.
I think the bottom part just gets to be too much.
Too busy.
It looks like
yeah.
Like, you could probably smuggle in some people under that dress.
Oh, definitely.
Like,
some small children.
Yeah, that would totally be acceptable. Nobody would even bat an eye. But, I don't know. To me...
Yeah, I know a lot of people liked it, but I don't know. I feel it's, like, trying too hard or something.
For the practical gal. That's a pass.
Dev Patel in custom Burberry. Very classy.
Looks good.
Black and white.
How should a men's sport coat or dress jacket fit? Because I mean, to me it looks like this might even be a little too short on the sleeves, or is that like where are they supposed to fall?
Well, the look has somewhat changed a little bit over the years. For like a true tapered look, the sleeves tend to be a little bit shorter. I've seen it on a lot of the guys.
I feel like in that respect, if the sleeves of the coat are going to be a little shorter, the sleeve of the shirt is like half an inch longer so that it peeks through.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing it on him.
No, you just see like the sleeve. It just ends at the sleeve.
And then his coat only has one button on it. Is this technically a more casual look? Like, does the number of buttons determine, or is it just a purely aesthetic choice on the designer's behalf?
I think it's just more an aesthetic choice, and it's just easier to wear. Obviously, you don't have to keep unbuttoning all these buttons, and then the more buttons you also have, the more it pulls the suit together. But yeah. Alright, so now we have Dakota Johnson and Gucci.
I did not like this one.
No.
I loved it. I loved it. It reminds me of my grandmother's wedding dress. I love like vintage types of outfits. The only thing I don't like about this is how large the bow is in front of her.
Without the bow, I think I would like it, but that bow is just so
Too
awkward
big.
and big, and
Yeah.
I don't like that part of it.
And it's just it's so plain. It doesn't need
Yeah,
all the bells and
I think I would
whistles.
definitely like it without that bow. It's just, that's very distracting.
You know, the Victorian in vintage style was definitely in last night too. I don't like the whole bow in the front.
I don't know. I like it. It's not something I would wear every day, obviously.
Right.
But what is this? What type of, is that satin?
And when it looks like a satin, yeah.
Is that very breathable? Like, was she
No.
sweating when she was wearing this?
She must have been sweating.
You know what I heard a trick was? If you take panty liners and put them underneath your armpits.
That is good to
That's
know.
a quick tip for you right there.
Yeah, satin is not breathable, and it's also, as you can kind of tell in the sleeves, it's hard to move in if it's very
I
fitted.
would see her kind of like the fabric
Right.
was stretching when she had her arm up like that.
Right. I mean, obviously, if it's well constructed, it's fine, but it can be very constricting.
Loved it. You go, girl.
So now we have The Rock,
Well, Dwayne
Dwayne
The Rock Johnson. I can smell what you're cooking, Dwayne. It smells good.
So we got Velvet.
Velvet again.
Is the fabric of the night. Blue. It looks like a very royal blue fabric. And it's got I'm assuming it's a satin trim.
Mm-hmm.
Black tie, bow tie. Very, very different, but I like it.
Yeah, someone else was wearing blue velvet as well. I think it was Michael Strahan.
Oh,
from the
yes.
Red carpet.
Yep.
And then I noticed someone else, I think he was someone from Moonlight, who was wearing a very pale pink
Yeah.
velvet, it looked like.
Yeah, there was a handful of men wearing blue, and then I
Yeah.
think a few of them were actually velvet.
Yeah.
I like this look for him. It's
Yeah,
different.
it works for him.
Yep. Taraji P. Henson. What?
I like this one.
I like this one too. She was one of my best dressed last
Yeah.
night. It just says she's in custom. Custom what?
Alberta Ferretti.
Alberta Ferretti. Okay. This is like a deep blue,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was
Okay.
black at first, but so yeah, deep blue velvet.
I love the neckline,
Yeah, the neckline.
the sleeves, the high slit. Obviously, it's velvet again, which is very popular last night. And the color, everything looks awesome on
it's
her.
very classy.
Yep.
Elegant.
Has that old Hollywood glamour type of feel to it.
Yeah, I feel like this is a dress you could kind of wear. You could have worn this 30 years ago, 20 years ago, 10 years ago. And it's kind of like a timeless, classic, glamorous look.
What about the necklace?
I like it. It looks
I
like
do
it's like a princess necklace.
Yeah.
It goes
I think
well with the neckline.
Yeah.
Yep.
That point of the
whole
V
style.
pointed type of. Yeah, I like it. And I mean, like I said, if you got them, flaunt them.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent job.
Yep.
They're very.
Voluptuous, but
Plump.
without being too much. It's
Plump.
still very elegant, I
Yes.
feel.
Yeah.
I also just like how simple it is.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't
Yeah.
need. I mean,
doesn't
the
need
necklace
anything.
kind of makes up for how simple
Right.
Yeah.
and streamlined the rest of the dresses.
Mhm.
It's really nice.
Yeah, definitely one of my favorites of the night.
Agreed.
Me too. So that's about it. We didn't cover every single person, but who would you say is the best dress for the women?
I loved Emma Stone.
I like Taraji P. Henson a lot.
Yep. I think my favorite was Taraji for best dress for the women. For the men, I think I'm gonna give it to The Rock just for wearing that velvet blue suit.
Yeah, as far as men's best dress, I'm gonna have to give it up to Ryan Gosling.
But yeah, those were my two favorites from the red carpet.
Yeah, so we saw a lot of velvet, we saw a lot of long sleeves for the women, a lot of gold,
High
white,
neck, halter top or
Yep.
high necklines. A lot of handwork, like things that you probably would not be able to produce with a machine or on an assembly line. Like
Beading.
a lot of these dresses had so much time
Yeah.
and hours
Detail.
put into them, which
Yep.
is, you have to appreciate it and give it up to the people who are making these dresses and suits. Gorgeous.
So that pretty much wraps up everything from last night in the red carpet. We hope that we get to do something like this again soon. And we would love to hear your thoughts about the red carpet, what people were wearing, who was your best dress, and let us know. Thanks for watching.
Bye.